But this was a nice little bow on top of the entire season. Finishing off everything with Pikes, Boba is now the daimyo of Mos Espa, and he is respected from what he did, even though his Rancor almost destroyed the whole town.
But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
Alright. That was good, but I don't think it's better than either of the last two episodes, honestly. What would I rank this? You know, I think this is better than 4, but worse than 5. No, I gotta go with how I feel. I think it's better than 2, worse than 4. Nah, this is better than 4. Yeah, I'm convinced it's better than 4. It's not really too much room to give it, so I think I am going to give it a 9.1. I was thinking about rating it lower, but I think the main reason why I was going to consider it like an 8 something is because I feel like the Scorpion droid chase went on a little too long. I feel like if it was like 3 minutes shorter, it'd been perfect, but it just went on a little too long. I wish Boba would have showed up with the Rancor a little sooner, which I mean I get though, because he had to go all the way to his palace, get the Rancor out, and all that fun stuff, but it was a hell of a payoff. Was this the best episode in this season? Absolutely not. The last 2 episodes were much better, but this was a nice little bow on top of the entire season. Finishing off everything with Pikes, Boba is now the daimyo of Mos Espa, and he is respected from what he did, even though his Rancor almost destroyed the whole town. I think he was saying near the end though about how he doesn't know if he can live like this, and then Fennec asked, who do you think could, or something like in that vein. So I'm wondering if after all this and that encounter with Cad Bane, if Boba doesn't want to do this anymore. If after he was getting there, I was like, I don't know if I actually want to do this. But I feel like if he got there then immediately wanted to do something else, that'd feel a little weird. I think he can be daimyo and have someone look over Mos Espa while he goes off to do other things. And R2 showed up with Grogu, which for a second I thought Luke was there, but he wasn't, which would have solved all the problems of the entire episode otherwise. But it would have been interesting to see Luke and Boba interact after episode 5 and 6. But Grogu chose the Mandalorian armor. It'll be interesting to see if someone who watches Mando but doesn't watch Book of Boba Fett, if they see Grogu go off with Luke Skywalker, and then at the beginning of Mando season 3 they see Din with Grogu, they'll be like, well, what the hell happened? What does happen? If there is a Boba Fett season 2, I think that's pretty simple. Something happens in the crime industry and he has to deal with it. It could be something big like Crimson Dawn, which I think is most likely, as a lot of people were expecting Kira to show up in this episode, but they didn't show up. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Pikes to actually be the big bad boss, but they were, and I'm kind of fine with that because this kind of leaves season 2 open, if they do a season 2. If they leave a season 2 open for like Crimson Dawn to come in. Admittedly, there wasn't a massive cliffhanger though, so it's possible there isn't a season 2, which would suck because I think now that Boba has all the flashbacks done and Cobb Vanth is getting worked on and all this stuff, I think it leaves a lot open for a season 2 of Book of Boba Fett. And for Mandalorian season 3, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said at the end of the last episode, I want Grogu to choose the Jedi. I want him to choose the Jedi. But will he? He didn't already because of his attachment to Din. I wonder if something happens to Din and then he goes back to choose the Jedi path. I could see him becoming a Mandalorian and then going the path of the Jedi route. Very much similar to Tar Vizsla. And maybe even Grogu inherits the Darksaber from Din, because if there's almost a 0% chance that Grogu dies in any of these shows for a while. Because if they do, one, they're killing off Grogu, and that is stupid for merchandising, for plot reasons, and also they can use Grogu as a through line for 800 years of Star Wars content at least. if he lives to die at old age, that is. Even if he lives half that life, that's 400 years. Rey and Kylo are definitely long gone unless they got cloned over and over again, which I mean, wouldn't see it as an impossibility. But if anything, I think Mando Season 3 sets up some more Heir to the Empire stuff. And actually maybe Season 2 Book of Boba Fett introduces Talon Karrde and maybe Mara Jade. Even though Mara Jade in this timeline wouldn't be as compelling a character, falling in love with Luke after being the hand to Palpatine, which she could still be the hand to Palpatine, and I guess they could still do that because it's 30 years from episode 6 to episode 7. So I mean, they could still do that whole line, and then maybe Mara Jade dying is the reason why Luke goes into hiding on top of Kylo. Maybe Kylo kills Mara. Maybe that's something that happens, and then they kind of influence the reasoning for Luke in episode 8 more so that way. Although it's not expressed in episode 8, it would then be implied from all the content that we get now. So I think it is possible that something like that could happen. And we already see that they're not afraid of introducing Luke and having his beautiful CGI face and semi-beautiful CGI mouth talking. But yeah, I thought that was a solid ending. I anticipated this to not be as good as last episode. I wish it was better though. I was hoping from that 61-minute runtime, including all the credits and intro and all that stuff obviously, but I was hoping that we'd get a little bit more because that scorpion chase just took up a little too much time. But it seems like Cobb Vanth isn't going to die. Big ups, because he is so massive. However, Cad Bane does die, which sucks. But I think there's a lot we can see about Cad Bane before this, throughout the original trilogy. So I don't think this is the last story with Cad Bane, not by a long shot. But this is the final point we see Cad Bane, which I mean, there was no way that Cad Bane was going to make out of this series alive. Let's be honest. It was either Cad Bane or Boba was going to die, and they're not going to kill off Boba. That's very unlikely, because they could introduce the Omega aspect, the Mace Windu aspect, although very doubtful. They could have more Jango backstory stuff. But with Cad Bane, he's not a main character. He's just a fantastic villain. And he's not going to walk away from Boba. He's going to either kill Boba or die trying. Which he died trying. And having him and Boba talk about how when he was a kid and talking to Cad Bane about that stuff, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool to see. Kind of see them actually referencing this Boba Fett to the Clone Wars Boba Fett, which Boba Fett does have a chance to bring up Asajj Ventress because he did a job with her at one point as well. So there's so many things that could happen, and that was just a solid ending. That was just a solid ending. Yeah, I'm still sitting here wanting to change the rank of the episode, but I feel like I'm only a little down because probably because one, the X-Wing showed up and Luke didn't show up. So then I got hyped Luke's gonna show up. No, it's not. So then that kind of got my hopes up, and then kind of made me touch grass a little bit. And also the scorpion chase just lasted a little too long. I was honestly not necessarily getting bored. I was just I was waiting for the next plot point to happen. So I think 9.1 is solid because it's definitely better than the first 4 episodes. But it's definitely not better than the last 2. Also, my brother sent me a snap at 3 in the morning. I'm assuming he watched this because Book of Boba Fett comes out at 2 a.m. for me. Let's see what his snap is about. His no spoiler reaction is him just going which I think that's fair. But that's it for me for now. I'm highly anticipating Kenobi, which I think is going to come out in May or so, which a lot of people are thinking actually. So I think that's going to be the next reaction stuff you see from me on this channel. I'll try to come out with some videos semi-regularly. Maybe a video once a week or something like that. That'd be kind of my goal for Star Wars videos. And then also on my other channel, if you want to check that out, Werewolf123, I post kind of just random nerd video game stuff. I haven't posted there a lot because one, I've been focusing on this. 2, haven't really been focusing on content creation in general, as you can tell by the video that's titled "I'm Quitting basically. But it is what it is. I just enjoy making content, so I'm probably going to just continue, just not consistently. But if you liked this video and you enjoyed my reaction, please like and consider subscribing, as I'll try to come up with some more Star Wars content. And if you enjoyed the episode, let me know below. If you didn't enjoy the episode, let me know below. I'm very interested to see what the community thinks of this final episode. I'm sure I'll see you on Twitter later today, but, you know, Twitter gonna Twitter. Take care. I'll see you next time, and may the Force be with you.